I'm Charlie HAIG. I'm 28 years old and I'm from Peacehaven, live in Peacehaven.
Yes. Do you want to start from the beginning to tell me about where you grew up and what that was like?
Yes, I originally was born in Crawley back in 1995, and 2 weeks after I was born, my old man went to jail. Just kick it off with. He went to jail for GBH with intent. So for the first 3 years, I didn't see my dad, and I had to visit him at the Isle of Wight. So my mum used to look after me. And obviously back then, that was like the normal sort of thing. But when my dad come out of jail after the 3 years, him and my mum did argue, and my dad actually took her to a custody battle. And he won, unbelievably, and a single parent criminal, it's unheard of. So I went to live with him, and obviously it was since then, it was me and the old man for 24 years. So we moved to Manchester from Crawley when I was about 3, for about 6 months, and then we, excuse me, and then we managed to get a council house down in Peacehaven, where I've lived pretty much ever since for the rest of my life. And that was that. Coming up to about 5 or 6, my mum and my dad tried to rekindle, and basically it was for about 2 weeks. My mum didn't really do anything around the house, and my dad obviously got annoyed with it, and then they had an argument, and I saw my mum scratch my dad's face, and ever since then I never wanted to talk to her, hated her. So it's literally just been me and my old man for 24 years. And so yeah, grew up in Peacehaven, lovely little town, great place to like bring up children and that. Obviously went to a school called Hodden, had lots of friends and stuff like that. And then my dad used to work away a lot in the criminal side. He used to go abroad to Belgium and other places like that to bring tobacco. Like you're talking 7.5 tons of tobacco. So my friend Lewis Howarth, his mum used to babysit me 3 or 4 times a week. And so I really started treating my friends like family, because obviously my dad wasn't around, but he had to make a living. Not the best way, but he was putting a roof over my head and food on the table. And yeah, so that was going on for a while, and then we hit secondary school, and it was the year 2007. I got a phone call while I was at home, because my dad was down in Bristol, and he called me up saying, "Charlie," I was like, "What?" He's like, "Get the tomato can and take it to Batman's." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Get the tomato can and take it to Batman's." And what that means is the tomato can had 5 grand in cash, and it had a little plastic top, which only I knew about. So I ran it down there, gave it to Batman, who was looking after all my dad's money at the time. Got a phone call. Yeah, he said, "Chuck all the phones away, because something bad's happening." Didn't find out till, I think it was 2 days later. He was in a police chase down in Bristol, and he got caught with a kilo of cocaine and 35 grand cash. And it's in the paper and all that, so if you want to research it, you can. So he got nicked and put on remand straight away, and the police come to my house when I was there with Charlie Duncan and Richard Brewster, and they said, "I've got to go to my mum's." And obviously I haven't seen my mum since that time I was 5. So I've grabbed the badminton racket, started smashing the house up, saying I'm not going. And then from that point, obviously, when I kicked off and that, I ended up going to my mum's for a couple of days. But my best pal, Charlie, he asked his parents if I could live with him. And then I said yes. So I lived with Charlie from the age of about 11, 12 till 15, right in the middle of like the most changing times in like school and puberty and stuff like that. And I didn't have my dad around, which it was hard, but obviously I was always a positive kid. I was fat but positive, and I had a lot of powers, but no one really knew how to talk to me about it. So I sort of just put it like down deep inside. And yeah, it was hard. I had to visit him in Bristol, Oxford, and then he finally got to Lewis. And where my old man was like, he was a man, like, he don't talk about feelings and stuff like that. when I went to visit him, that I couldn't tell him like his shit at school. Like I had to tell him, yeah, everything's fine, like I'm good. So that was hard. And he come out in 2010, or no, 2009, 2010, and he come out, and when I first saw him, I couldn't believe it, but because it was so, like, I couldn't believe he was there, I couldn't stay with him that first night. It just didn't seem real, which I think he might have took it a bit hard, but obviously he's my dad, he understood. And then from that point, he said he's never going to do anything wrong, because if he does, he'll get a 15 stretch and he'll die in jail, which was good news to me. So we moved to New Haven, and we struggled like fuck. I mean, struggled like he was on benefits. He did have mental health problems, PTSD, and he also had physical problems, which was emphysema and COPD, which if people don't know, is a lung condition, which I think I might be getting if I carry on smoking like I do, but we get to that. But, yeah, so we struggled, barely like had money to go out and stuff like that. He always made sure I had food on the table and that. And then he wanted me to go to college instead of going straight into work. So I would be the first one out of my family to do so. And I went to Lewis College, where I had a growth spurt from like little 5 foot boy to 5 foot 11 and 3/4. I'm not quite 6, but you know what I mean. And yeah, got a level 3 business diploma, distinction merit, which he was the proudest man of. I mean, so proud. And then from there, done an apprenticeship at Wilding District Council. Sorry, my throat. Oh.
It's alright, you can take a minute.
That's right. So yeah, so I done an apprenticeship. I had to wear like the shoes, trousers, shirt, tie. And my dad was so pleased. He said that's a job for life at the council. And yeah, done it. It was all right. And when it come to the end of my apprenticeship, they actually had a job offer for what I was doing. And I applied for it, and unfortunately I didn't get it. Someone with 30 years experience got it, which is fine. So I managed to get an interview for a travel insurance company called Rock Insurance, and I got the job. It was up in Crawley, so I had to drive there every day. So it's 80 miles a day, 400 miles a week. But loved it, it was good. And stayed doing that for a while, and then I went to a company called Bought by Many, which was pet insurance, where obviously I developed my skills in that. Went to there, and then I got a letter through. And I'm going to go back a little bit, but I got a letter through saying I had to go magistrate's court. And the reason for that was because of something that happened in June 2019. There was and I'm not going to lie about it, it was a Tory Robinson protest, because he was in jail. So I've gone out on the Friday with my boys on a night out, just in Brighton, getting pissed up, bang on it. And we've gone back to my mates and we've carried on until about 7 o'clock in the morning. My pal's gone, hey, ain't we going to a protest? I was like, oh, fuck, we are. So I jumped in the car, not even thinking about how much I'm over the limit. Gone home, got changed. We've jumped on a train from Seaford, because I was living there at the time. Gone to London, met about 20 other of my pals, Brighton boys, and then we're all walking through Trafalgar Square. There's all football boys, basically, all like just working class people. But there's black, white, it's all everyone, just working class. And we're all having a good drink, good laugh, and then we've heard a bit of commotion outside this pub, and there's a whole bill there trying to block us. So obviously, I'm on a roll through, my pals are all there, I've gone to the front, and I'm wearing a double Sergio Tacchini little tracksuit, tennis shorts like that, and a top, and I'm wearing a Lacoste hat. And the whole bill, they're all like uni students, and they're all like 5'5", and I'm telling them, let us through, otherwise this kid go mad. And he's just like, no, you can't go. And then I've been pushed in the back by about 20 other people. I've gone into them, and where I was a bit big, obviously, I've hit him a bit hard. As I've turned around, I've been whacked in the back of the head. And I've just lost the plot. Just fuck it, I've gone berserk. So I've pushed one, and then as my pals grabbed me to get me away from it, they've sent 20 riot bill through us all in riot shields and that. one got left behind, so I've just ran, I've just kicked him. And all my pals have gone, what the fuck are you doing? You're like, why are you so silly? Grabbed me, managed to get home, everything was fine. Old man told me, get rid of clothes, burn them, just forget about them. Instead, I did hide them, 6 months went by, nothing. Brought them back in the house. 2 weeks later, old Bill come from the door at 6 in the morning, and it wasn't it wasn't our old Bill, like Sussex, it was Metropolitan. My old man's at the bottom of the door, arguing with him. He's saying, we need to see Charlie HAIG. He was just like, you ain't fucking coming in. The geezer's pretending to get Cossacks like you do it. I'm stabbing you in the head, like, went off. And he's shouting at me, saying, Charlie, old Bill's here, trying to let me know to get rid of the clothes. Obviously, I'm a bit fucking, like, what the fuck? So they've come in, I'm sitting there, and the clothes, funny enough, are on my bed. They've picked them up, they was like, yeah, I think that's it. Oh, I've gone, fuck. They was like, can you get dressed? I've put on, like, a nice big proper jacket, some nice trainers and that. And they're like, oh, you got a bit of money in that? I was like, no, I do all right, bit of this, bit of that. But I was working office job. As I've got in the car, stupidly enough, I didn't think, because they actually write down everything. As soon as they nick you, they will record everything. I've gone, fuck, am I going to go down for this? And I didn't even know what I was getting nicked for. So I basically was stupid and put myself in it. But we've gone down the station, done the interview, I've done a no comment all the way through, and we're down Eastbourne custody. So it's a different police station to the Met. Done the interview, thought I'm getting away with this. 2 weeks later I got a letter saying you have been NFA'd for this thing, which means no further action. So I thought, yeah, Charlie HAIG got away with it, same again, like, have it. 2 months later I got that letter when I was at work, brought by many, saying, yeah, you're going magistrate's court. I've called the sergeant that put his number on it. So what are you talking about, mate? He was like, bro, you're going court, mate. I was just like, no, you NFA'd me. He was like, no, that's the Sussex police. We're Met. You're going court. I've literally, heart's dropped, stomach's gone. I've started, like, putting my head in my hands. I'm thinking, fuck. Spoke to my old man about it. It was just like, it's magistrates. Worst you can get is 6 months there, or they might NFA, or you might have to go Crown. Crown's the big one. Got there, pleaded guilty, because you've got me banged to rights from CCTV. Can't get away from it. Done guilty, and they said, no, you're going, they said, you're going Crown Court. So I'm like, right, fuck. And went to Crown Court, had to do a probation speech with a woman, basically told her this whole story, and she's gone, Charlie, it's your first ever offence, your first ever charge, you'll get 2 years suspended, a fine, and someone else. So I've come out of that, and I'm with Charlie at the time. I'm like, mate, I'm sweet, like, fucking getting away with it. Gone back 2 weeks later for the actual Crown, and Dad said, pack a bag, take 200 quid out cash, just in case. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. That's what he said. Gone in there, I'm with Charlie, Dan, and Steph. All gone up there, and even getting there was like a nightmare. So we had to jump on the train in Brighton, right? Get to London Bridge, but no, it was in Southwark Crown Court, it's near London Bridge. We had to get a train up there, right? And the trees collapsed on the tracks. So court's at 11, I'm meant to get there for about 10 o'clock. My train's not getting there till 1:45. We've jumped off at London Bridge with my pals, we're running, we've seen a black cab. We've all put our arms out, called it over, and some bird tries getting in it. Like, I don't get what people say. Like, we've basically like, nudged out of the way, got in, she goes, that's my taxi. I've just shouted like a dick. I was like, I've got fucking court, love, like, fuck off. Geezer was like, don't worry about it. Took us to Southwark Crown Court, and I'm in there with 5 people. There's 2 on my left, 2 on my right, and I'm thinking, right, we might be all right here. The first 2 people next to me, custodial 12 months, custodial 12 months. I've looked at my boys when they've come to me, and I'm thinking, fuck. And they was reading out, like, my barrister, and like they were reading out what's happened. They even said you was in the video for 5 minutes out of 3 hours, but you was the one who caused the most damage. And I was like, nah, fuck this. And then the woman's gone, I know about your situation, but yeah, 12 months custodial. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, it's 12 months. I looked at the boys, like, my boys, I'll be all right. Obviously, you got to keep a straight face. My boys started crying. I've gone down, and it's horrible. Like, you got to wait in this little 4x6 what cell, no telly, nothing. It's like a custodial cell, if you've ever been in one, if you ain't. It's basically a bright light, which is on me right now, but it's constant, and you don't know what's going on. I had to wait there 4 hours, and then they open the door, they take you to this little counter, they take your belongings and everything like that, and then I went to him, I was like, you're going to take me to Lewis, HMP, because that's local to Peacehaven area. He's like, no. I was like, what? He's like, you're going to Wandsworth. I was like, where is that? He's like, South West London. And then my head's gone. I was just like, I've gone down for this Toy Robinson thing, which isn't, I regret it so much, because it made me realise I'm not like that. I do actually love all people, but I can just be a dick. But,
just to interrupt you, sorry.
yeah.
What do you think led to you, being in that situation where you were going to a Tommy Robinson march, just going back a bit?
A little bit because of my old man, because of the way he was. Like, he was racist, but he wasn't, and he loved Tommy Robinson. So in a way, it was like me showing like him that I'm similar. I want to be like him. But at the end of the day, like Tommy Robinson's views are not the same as mine, especially after I come out of jail. But it was stupid. But on the flip side, prison did help me, and I'll get into that now. So yeah, got taken to Wandsworth, and this is one of the oldest jails in Britain as well. Similar to Lewis, it's built in, I think, the 19th or 18th century, like shithole, rats. It's fucking vile. So I got there, and as soon as I got there, you get strip searched, bollock naked, got a cough, do that squat, like you see in the films and that. And then get changed into your little grey HMP gear, like your joggers and your jumper. And then one of the screws went to me, he's like, don't tell anyone what you're in for. I was like, why? He's like, there's 400 Muslims in here. I don't have a problem, but if the screw's telling me that means for the thing I've done, it's a very serious thing, which means I can get hurt. And I was like, all right, so when I did go in, I just told people I was in for football violence, which is, I could get away with it because of the scenario and because I'm a Brighton football fan, call it that. And first went in there, it's an eye-opener. It's disgusting. And I was put in, I think it's a Cat B jail, but it's an international jail, so people get transferred all the time. I was in a cell 23 hours a day, hour out, that's all you get. You got to shower, sort your food out, do your laundry, make sure you talk to the screws to make sure you get your letters and everything like that. So there's not a lot of time, so you have to plan basically each day. But in there, because in 2019, April, they banned smoking. And obviously I was smoking, I've been smoking since I was 13, doing 20, 40 a day. So I was doing 50 grams of tobacco a week, which is a lot. And my old man used to smoke 150. So that's why he had the breathing condition. But yeah, so I told him, I was like, yeah, I smoke. She was like, well, we don't smoke in jail anymore. I was like, what? She's like, you got to have a vape. And I was like, what do you mean a fucking vape? Like, I look like a prick. She was like, that's what you got. So I had a vape, and I'm smoking it. It's just not the same. So I came completely, went cold turkey. Didn't smoke for 4 months while I was in there. So I was clean. And then I managed to get a job in there with my mate as a cleaner. And he managed to get me out of my cell in 5 hours a day. So I had 2 hours in the morning, which I used to get my hair cut in the morning by Cams. He was a Muslim geezer who was one of the nicest people I ever met. Still talks to me here and now. But he used to cut my hair, I used to pay him herbal tea every 2 weeks, pack of 20, like herbal tea bags. It was bringing back memories, this is. But yeah, so, where was I? So herbal tea. Yeah, so done a cleaning job, so 2 hours in the morning, and then I used to get on the hot plate, which is when you serve the other prisoners food. And that was between 3 and 5, and used to do that. So we got an extra hour, and then because we had that extra hour, we'd go gym, or we'd do like a circuit, and which was nice. So basically, because I was 21 stone when I went in, and people who know who've been in there, when you're walking on the landing, I'm not joking, it's probably as wide as that hand. So if you got me as 21 stone, I'm like that big anyway. So when you're trying to walk past each other, it's a bit of a nightmare. But yeah, learned how to play chess, read books in there. Like, it helped me, but it's still, you don't want to be there. Like,
How did you feel, like, emotionally throughout that period? Was there a lot of anxiety?
not, see, emotionally, because when my dad's been in there before, he told me, just don't think you're the big man, because there's going to definitely be someone harder and more naughty than you in there, which is fine. Don't take drugs in there, and don't try and sell drugs. And I stuck to all three, because on the third day, the wing I was on, the geezer who basically ran the wing, I didn't know at the time, he's having an argument with some geezer on the twos. And basically the geezer said, I can't pay you today when he was meant to, or give him some of his like chocolate or something like that. I can't remember the word, but so he's just lumped him, gave him a left hook right to the face, grabbed him, thrown him down 2 flights of stairs. That's my third day in there. And I'm thinking, fucking, I thought it was a big man on the outside. Like, this is a different world. Fucking crazy. But, yeah, so, but I always spoke to my old man and he gave me advice about it. And then after 2 weeks, you get into the routine. Like, first 2 weeks, you're shitting yourself. You've got to shit in front of people you've never met. You've got to share a cell with complete geezers who are in there for either murdering, GBH, or fucking just violent crimes or robbing people. Like, you got to be on it 24/7. You can't let your guard down. As soon as you do that, someone's going to take the piss. And if someone takes a piss, you have to retaliate. Otherwise, they will carry on and carry on. But because you'll remember me from school, I was always positive. I can always just have a chat with someone and like just get along and have a joke. And that helped me in there. Like, that was just because I would go into the yard and I'd do my circuit, and some of the boys in there didn't really know. They're like, go on, keep going. And I'm like, but fucking hell, I'm dying here, mate. Look at the size of me. And they just find it funny, and then you just get talking. And then, yeah, fucking. But in there, you can there's more stuff in there than out here, like drugs and like things you shouldn't have. And I ain't gonna talk about that because I don't incriminate anyone or anything else. But it's a mad place. But I went in on September 29th, and I come out New Year's Eve. So I was in there 3 months of the 12 month because it was my first ever time. But when I come out New Year's Eve, I was put on tag straight away till March 28th. So I was on tag for my birthday. And then
How did it feel like to be on tag? How did that?
tag's all right because you're at home, you're out. But so I'll go back to when I was inside. The thing that did kill me, my old man's also been in Wandsworth. After the 2 weeks in there, he come and visit me. And that broke his heart because he tried so hard to keep me out of the criminal life. Yeah, no, so he tried so hard to keep me out of the criminal life. I felt like I let him down. Like, obviously, I'm inside, like, and he's been trying for 24 years to keep me out. And I could see it. I could see him, like, it was killing him. Like, I told him on that day, like, don't come visit me in here. Like, it's breaking my heart. So I'd always just call him on the phone, and yeah, so yeah, that broke me a little bit. But I couldn't go back to my cellmates and be all teary, like, 'cause I know some people can, but nah, you got to keep a persona, as you like. Like, I'm not the big I am, but I'm Charlie HAIG. Like, I'm a geezer, I'm fine. I get on with everything. And it's hard to keep it up all the time. It's so hard. But all my boys, all the girls I knew, they all wrote letters. I got about 120 letters. I was on the phone most days, having a bubble, having a laugh with them, which was nice. And then Christmas Day in there was hard. Everyone's basically depressed because you're not with your family. People are in there doing like 6, 8 years, who are some of the nicest people, and they've done bad things, but it's still sad to see, like, you're away from your family, you're away from your friends, and you can't really you can't do anything, you're in a cell, and the cell's tight, it's fucking tiny, horrible.
So if you can take us back to like your first experience with drugs and why, I suppose, if you can think of a reason why, but also what it started with, what it developed to, and how that has affected you throughout your life.
Okay, so the first drug I ever tried, which I think most people have, is weed. First time I tried it, smoked half a joint, and I've whited or greened Casper the Ghost, and since then I've never liked it. I don't like the way it makes me feel. I don't feel like in control. I feel like vulnerable, if that makes sense.
And how old are you?
13. And then, yes, I didn't do that. And the next time I tried drugs, because obviously we always used to drink at parties, little house parties when you're 14, 15, which was always good. But when we got to 16, we had prom in school, which most people do. Our pal somehow got a bit of cocaine, Class A. But back then it was called pub grub, because it was so mixed with shit. You could buy a gram for 30 quid. So we've got it, we're doing it on the back of the limo, we've got champagne, and we feel like we're like living the dream, like ballers, having it large. And we've gone back after the prom, after we've done the dancing and that, we were sniffing it in the toilets. We've got back to our mate's house for the after party, and we're doing it in the toilet, and we're living life, just enjoying it. And I was up till 9 o'clock in the morning the next day. I was thinking, fucking, this is brilliant. And then since then, I didn't really touch it because we couldn't really get it. But as soon as I hit 18, that's when it started. So work all during the week, Monday to Friday, no pub, no nothing. It was more binge drinking, which is basically you drink as much as you can on the weekends, get as fucked up as you can. So Friday, Saturday would be Brighton and then to the Trek, and you just get a gram each, fucking bang it, drink, but the more you sniff, the more you can drink. And because I didn't get drunk, but I was still in control, but I wasn't pissed out, like not in control when you fall over and you're sick, which I've done a few times and end up in hospital having my stomach pump from it. So I thought, right, I'm doing this. And I've been doing it pretty much most weekends since the age of 19. Obviously I had that little stop in jail, and then when we had lockdown, stopped for a few months and really focused on the gym. But went out to like, people done it, same as me, went to like the park with your mates, got a bag each in, got some balloons, nitrous oxide, and like bottles of alcohol, whiskey, vodka, whatever, and you'd just be getting on it in a park and just having a drink. But I would still go out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but I'd be at work Monday, go to the gym for an hour and a half, and then do a 5K. So where I wasn't eating for 3 days and doing that hardcore work, gym, running, that's how I was losing a stone. But the more I lost, the more vain I got, the more I loved it. Because even now, it sounds very nice, I think I look good. Like, I'm tan, I've got the tattoos, but I'm not out here. I'm like a decent build. And then what the problem has started to be now, so since, come out of jail, I was 24, kept done that for a year straight, doing the gear, and carried on doing it, but lost the motivation for the gym. So after work last year, just during the summer, I'd go to the pub every day without fail and get a bag, which I can admit now I was a proper addict back then without realising, because I'd go to work every day. No matter what, even if I finish at 4, pub at 5, go home by 11, but I've done a bag and about 10 beers, but then I'll wake up the next day, go to work, swell it all out, and then feel fine, and then go to the pub again. And that started worrying my old man a bit. He said, you seem like you've got a problem. I was like, no, I'm fine. And then I managed to get a new job. And this is when this is going to get a bit deep, okay? So I was working for a friend of mine called Tom. And what he does is basically lithium batteries, changes them all across the country for power grids. We had a job out in Guernsey, okay? So this is in November last year. We was there for 2 weeks, me and 2 other people, and I had to drive the van out there with all the tools and that, and the 2 other people flew. We've got the job done in 6 days, but we've been paid for the whole 2 weeks. Because I can't come back till the following Friday because I've got to take the van back. The other 2 left me on the Wednesday, so I've gone, fuck it, I'm going out on the Thursday. I know I've got to drive Friday, but I know I'm all right. I ended up going out on Wednesday, going out clubbing, but for some reason I've got the ump. I don't know why, I just have. Gone out, pulled a little birdie, going back to the hotel, and it started raining. So I pulled in this taxi rank, which has got a bus shelter. So just to get out of the rain, but I didn't realise I've walked like that, turned right up, but I've like queued at the front, jumped in the front by accident. Some geezer goes, what are you doing? Get to the back, you cunt. I'm like, what? I was like, if a taxi comes, mate, I'll let you go, no problem, no drama. He's like, get to the back now, you cunt. I was like, mate, you say it again, I'm going to punch you up. Yeah, he's come over, I've pushed him, I was like, mate, like, I'm telling you, don't do it. He's come over, I've gone, ah, fuck it, bang, clipped him, dropped him, and then the girls that I was with have taken me away. I didn't think anything of it, and he's jumped up with two of his pals, giving it. And in my head, I'm raging, I feel on top of the world, so I was had a few drinks. I turned around, I was like, oh, come on in, let's have it. But I'm really ready, like raging. And then they was just like, no, I don't want it. Turned back around again to go to the hotel, old Bill's turned up. And because Guernsey's such a small island, it's about 10 minutes like either side. They've come over, they've seen me on CCTV punch the kiddie. I've ended up fighting them because they've nicked me. And I couldn't drive the van back Friday because I'm still in the cells. So I've had to call my boss, tell him that. He's absolutely raging because he can't get anyone to drive back till the following week. And obviously I've let him down, I feel horrible and that. And I was just like, fuck. And it turned out I had court on Monday, right? So this weekend is when it gets serious. So, got nicked on Friday. Told my old man, he was like, just get on a boat. Just get on a boat, come back here. I was just like, Dad, I can't do it. I've got court. If I bail court, it's a serious charge. Because I'm only getting done for assault. And spoke to him on Saturday about it. It was just like, you'll be fine, don't worry. Even if you do go down, Guernsey's got 9 cells. If you have a single cell, you'll be fine. I'm like, all right. And then Sunday, tried calling him, he didn't answer. And I was just like, this isn't like him. So I've called my pal Char and told him, go round my dad's, like, you need to see if he's okay. 2 hours later, I got a call from the hospital, Sussex in Brighton. They said, is this Charlie? I was like, yeah, what's going on? They was just like, yeah, your dad's only got about 3 hours to live. I was like, what? What are you on about? I just spoke to him Saturday. He was like, no, he's got 3 hours. He's on a ventilator, his lungs are collapsing. I'm like, I'm in Guernsey, what do you want me to do? I can't come back, like, I've got a call. Like, they're like, oh, do you want to speak to him? He won't be able to talk back, he's on a ventilator. So, I'm on the phone. I know he can hear me, but I know he can't say anything back, and this is what's driving my problems at the moment. I'm on the phone to him, and I'm like, Dad, like, you raised a proper geezer, like, I love you. Like, I'll make you proud. Like, don't worry, I'll be fine. You put me up. Like, I'm good. But told her, like, I couldn't say anything else. I was bamboozled. Like, it's a mad thing. And I hung up. I called Charles straight away. I was like, Charles, get to the hospital now. My dad's going to die, brother. He's like, what? I was like, Dad's dying. Like, just go there. I can't be there. I couldn't be there. So he's gone there with her, his mum, Debbie, love her. He's there with her, and I've got caught at 9 o'clock in the morning on Monday, and this is on the Sunday. I'm like, Child, Debs, you need to just let me know. I'm there in my room, in my hotel, like I can't sleep nothing. 5 o'clock in the morning, it was like, yeah, Charlie's dead. I couldn't be there. No. That's what's killing me. Like, I couldn't be there to hold his hand. But my brother was, and so was Debs, and I can't thank him enough. I was thinking, well, oh. Yeah, so Charlie Debbie was with him when he passed, and I can't thank him enough for him. And then at 5 in the morning he died. I had to go to court at night, tell my brief. I was just like, bro, my dad's just died. Like, I need to get home. Like, if you send me down, like, you're fucking me. So I've gone to court. My brief's told, like the lawyers and all that, going to see the judge and that. And like, they're saying about my story, so I said about it was self-defence. He's saying, you've used so much force, so you've like cleaned him. And they're like, yeah, they know my dad's just died. They've gone, yeah, we don't want to waste Guernsey taxpayers' money, so you've got a 4-month suspended sentence for 2 years. Because I've told the screws next to me, I was like, if I go down, you two are getting it. Like, my dad's just died, fuck it. Like, I don't care. Like, it's just me now. And yeah, got a suspended sentence. The boys, God rest, like, love them all. Like, love my boys. Like, they paid for my flight home. Child picked me up. And when they pick me up, I'm putting that persona back on. Like, I'm fine. Like my dad doesn't. Like, he never showed emotion, so I can't. I've got to be strong. And And the boys never like seen me cry like ever. And as I've come back, they don't tell you how to deal with this. No one teaches it in school. No one tells you how, because when he passed, I'm in a council house. I've got to sort out all this stuff. I had to do the funeral by myself. I had to sort the coffin out. I had to sort out all like the insurance, everything like that. And he left me a little bit of money. It worked up 15 grand. I spent 4 grand on the funeral because he wanted a cheap one. I done fucking like a twat because I was hurting. I done 4 grand in November on brasses, gear and fucking alcohol. Literally pretty much every day I was on it. And then it hit December and I went travelling to get away. I went with one of my best mates. I done fucking 6 grand into travelling on fuck all. Yeah, it was a good laugh. But when I come back in January, I had nothing to show for it. I had no money to get back. That's how much I spent because I couldn't deal with it. And now, since I come back, I was in and out of jobs, like, because I would drink during the week and I'd get so fucked, I was depressed. Yeah, I was generally depressed. Like, I'm broken still. Like, I know I am. It's going to take time. Drinking and drugs isn't good for it. I know it ain't. But it's the only thing that's keeping my head above water at the moment. Like, it generally is. But my pal, I put a thing on Instagram like most people do, and everyone's saying like, ask like anything you need, I'll help you, which I appreciate, and they probably do mean it. But you don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to ask people for help. I'm not like that. But like, I've got a few boys who like are constantly on it, making sure I'm all right, and to anyone who's going through the same thing, if one of your pals is hurting, check every day or even drive there, because I do tell people I'm like, fine. I'm sitting in my house in the dark on my own, like fucking crying, bruv. It's fucking, and I'm meant to be Charlie HAIG, like a geezer. Like, I'm positive, fine, and I'm fucking not. I'm negative at the moment. I'm not as much, but I'm angry all the time. I'm aggressive, and I have hurt a few of my pals, like, who are just trying to help, who are trying to want the best for me. I'm like, fuck off, mate. Do one, and but they're staying with me, which obviously means a lot, because I do have my mum and other family up in Crawley, but they've never been there. It's just been me and the old man. So I'm on my ones down there. Yes, I'm 28. I'm meant to be old and shit like that, but I'm going through it now. 6 months it's been a sit. Do you know what I mean? Like, people say, man up, gets over it. Like, yeah, fucking what, after 3-4 years? I get that, but when you're going through it now, like, it's fucking hard, mate. Like, generally, like, some other people don't make it. Like, the geezer I know hung himself, unfortunately. God rest his soul. Like, it's just, people struggle, like, and it is, women struggle, I get that, but men struggle alone, and if you ain't strong enough, that's why it's 85% suicide rates in men at that. Like, lucky enough, I know, when I get peeled up and, like, come on the bad, come down, and that's when I'm like, nah, fuck, it's starting to be here, but I know in my head I'm strong enough. I will survive it, but it's gonna take me fucking years, I reckon, minimum. And yes, I'm going out today, it's bank holiday. I'm gonna get on it, but I know I can deal with that. Like, I know I'm strong enough to do it. But yeah, since having the funeral and that, and all that, I'm scaffolding now, which I'm enjoying, working with my pal. The boys there know a little bit about my situation, and they just try and have banter with me, just try and keep me on the positive side. And that's all they can do. Like, November 7th this year is going to be horrible, because that's going to be the year anniversary. But also in March, it was my birthday, and it's my dad's birthday on the 26th. So it's the first birthday I've celebrated without him. And then his birthday, he weren't there, I couldn't say happy birthday. But yeah, I think that's all I can do.